Hi, hearty welcome to you. Welcome back. In the last session, we have solved some simple examples in inverse trigonometric function. In this session, we will see what is the approach we have to follow to solve the problems of inverse trigonometric functions. We don't need to remember any formulas, whatever is given in the textbooks. There are so many empty number of formulas. The only thing we have to understand and have complete understanding is whatever the concepts we have covered till now. If we have those concepts, then we can easily solve all the problems in inverse trigonometric functions without remembering any formulas. So let's look at these two examples and see to find out or arrive at the approach how we have to solve the inverse trigonometric function problems. Let's look at this now. Sine inverse 1 by 2 plus sine inverse 1 by 2 is one problem. Another problem is sine inverse 1 plus sine inverse 1 by 2. This seems to be very simple and weird problem, but to understand and explain the concept, I thought let's take a very simple example. Okay. Now I know sine inverse 1 by 2 is nothing but equal to sine 30 degrees, that is pi by 6, and this is also equal to pi by 6. So if I add, I will get pi by 6 plus pi by 6 is pi by 3. That should be my answer. Okay, right. Now similarly here I know sine inverse 1 equal to pi by 2 because sine 90 equal to 1, and it is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, so I am pretty much fine. Sine inverse 1 by 2 is sine 30 degrees, that is pi by 6. So if I add this is 3 pi by 6 plus pi by 6. So the answer should be 2 pi by 3. Okay. Now let us see what are the answers we are getting if we go ahead and solve these problems. Then based on that we will finalize the approach what we have to follow. Okay, right. Now what I will do, I will take it as alpha, I will take it as beta. I will say sine inverse 1 by 2 equal to alpha. Sine inverse 1 by 2 equal to alpha. That gives me sine alpha equal to 1 by 2. Similarly, sine inverse 1 by 2, I will take it as beta. So that gives me sine beta equal to 1 by 2. Now, so what we have now, we have to find out the value of alpha plus beta. I have to find out what is the value of alpha plus beta. So what I want to do now is, since I know sine alpha, sine beta, if I can find out cos alpha, cos beta, then I can apply sine on this and find out the value. Then I will take off the sine on both sides. I should be able to get the value. So what I will do now is, I will say sine of alpha plus beta equal to how much? We want to find out that. For that, the formula we know is sine alpha cos beta plus cos alpha sine beta. We know sine alpha equal to 1 by 2, sine beta equal to 1 by 2. From Pythagoras you can easily find out cos alpha equal to root 3 by 2 and also cos beta equal to root 3 by 2. Now what this becomes, sine of alpha plus beta equal to sine alpha, that is 1 by 2, into cos beta, that is nothing but root 3 by 2, plus cos alpha, that is root 3 by 2, into sine beta 1 by 2. If you add these two, it becomes root 3 by 4 plus root 3 by 4, that is nothing but equal to 2 by 4 into root 3, that is nothing but root 3 by 2. So sine alpha plus beta equal to root 3 by 2. So what we got is sine of alpha plus beta, sine of alpha plus beta equal to root 3 by 2. So that is nothing but equal to sine of 60 degrees, that is sine of pi by 3. Therefore, alpha plus beta equal to pi by 3. So which is coinciding with whatever the value we have thought it should be, that is nothing but pi by 3. Now let's look at the second example and try to solve this. I will take this also as alpha and beta like earlier. So this becomes sine inverse 1 equal to alpha. So sine alpha equal to 1, that's nothing but sine alpha equal to sine alpha equal to 1. So I can find out what is cos alpha based on that. Cos alpha equal to 0. Similarly, I have here sine beta equal to 1 by 2. That gives me, if I take sine inverse beta equal to 1 by 2, sine beta equal to 1 by 2, based on that I can find out cos beta equal to root 3 by 2. Now let's apply the same approach what we have done earlier. We have to find out the value of alpha plus beta. So we will apply sine on both sides. We'll say sine of alpha plus beta, so that we can see what value we are going to arrive at. Sine alpha into cos beta, that is 1 into root 3 by 2, plus cos alpha into sine beta, that is nothing but 0 into 1 by 2. So this is nothing but equal to root 3 by 2, that is nothing but equal to sine 60 degrees, that is pi by 3. Now sine alpha plus beta equal to sine pi by 3. So alpha plus beta is equal to pi by 3. Now we have a problem. If we see here, if we just directly apply the values, we know that this value is 60 degrees and this value is 120 degrees. But from solving the example, we are getting alpha plus beta equal to pi by 3, because sine inverse always returns the values in between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now how to know that this value is not pi by 3, it is 2 pi by 3. For that, what we have to do is, we have to go back to the 4 quadrants where all, sine, tan, cos. We have calculated what is sine alpha plus beta. Similarly, if we have calculated cos alpha plus beta and we see that it is positive, then I can say alpha plus beta is in the first quadrant. If cos of alpha plus beta in the second case is negative, then I can say that sine is positive but cos is negative. So in the second case, it is in the second quadrant, not in the first quadrant. So let's look at that. So let's look at the values of cos of alpha plus beta in both the examples, so that we can find out what exactly is the value of, correct value of these two expressions. So we know that sine of alpha plus beta equal to root 3 by 2 in the first case. Let us find out what is cos of alpha plus beta. Cos of alpha plus beta is nothing but equal to, we know that it is nothing but cos alpha cos beta minus sine alpha sine beta. Cos alpha is root 3 by 2, cos beta is also root 3 by 2, minus sine alpha is 1 by 2, sine beta is 1 by 2. This is nothing but 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4, that is nothing but equal to 1 by 2, which is positive. So we have sine alpha plus beta positive and cos alpha plus beta positive. That means alpha plus beta is in first quadrant in the first case. In the first case, alpha plus beta is in the first quadrant. Now let's look at the case here. Let's find out what is cos of alpha plus beta here. We know that cos alpha equal to 0, the same formula, cos alpha cos beta minus sine alpha sine beta. Cos alpha is 0 into cos beta root 3 by 2 minus sine alpha is 1 into sine beta is 1 by 2. So you can see the value is negative here. The value is negative. So cos alpha plus beta is negative, but sine alpha plus beta is positive. Sine is negative and cos is, sine is positive and cos is negative. We are in the second quadrant. So in the second case, alpha plus beta is there in the second quadrant. So how to find out what exactly is this value? For that, we know that sine of theta equal to sine of pi minus theta, and also we know that minus cos theta equal to cos of pi minus theta. So the value of this will not be pi by 3, but it will be pi minus pi by 3. That's nothing but equal to 2 pi by 3. So to summarize, whenever you have been given problems like this, you don't need to remember any formulas, just simply solve them. But once you are able to find out alpha plus beta or alpha minus beta, whatever it is, don't do it for one trigonometric ratio, do it for more than one, so that you can find out in which quadrant that particular alpha plus beta or alpha minus beta is lying. According to that, you can leverage the trigonometric identities where you have sine of pi minus theta equal to sine theta, or cos of 2 pi minus theta equal to cos theta, tan of pi plus theta equal to tan theta. You can leverage these simple formulas and you will be able to finally find out the solution. So in the next video, we will solve some more problems on inverse trigonometric functions. Catch you in the next video. Thanks for visiting. Bye for now.